Hello everyone, this is the second video of the series, Are Humans Still Evolving? And in today's video, we'll be looking at evidence that supports this statement. Now, first we'll be looking at a series of genetic evolutions, starting with lactose intolerance. Now, as infants, almost all of us have this enzyme called the enzyme lactase, which essentially allows for the digestion of milk, specifically the sugar lactose in milk, and makes the extraction of energy from milk essentially easier. And we have this because as infants, we feed by suckling. Now, for those who have lactose intolerance, meaning they cannot digest milk, for them, they've gradually lost the ability due to the decrease in production of the lactase enzyme over time. So, as adults, some of us have lactose intolerance. And this is because we have lost the ability to produce the enzyme lactase. But evidence suggests that as the dairy industry met a surge, mutations arose that allowed for lactose tolerance, i.e. being able to digest milk. Today, around 90% of people have some degree of lactose tolerance compared to how around 10,000 years ago, nearly no one could digest milk past infancy. So that's a statistic worth noting. In today's world, around 90% of us have some form of lactose tolerance versus 10,000 years ago when nearly no one had the ability to digest milk past infancy. Now, in the case of Europe, the mutation that allows for lactose tolerance seems to have happened around 5,000 to around 10,000 years ago, and this is around the same time as the domestication of cows and other similar milk-producing animals. So we definitely do see that there was some correlation between how the dairy industry outsurged and how lactose tolerance also developed. So in the case of Europe, around 5,000 to 10,000 years ago, there was domestication of cows and also a general rise in lactose tolerance. Now, in total and in around the globe, there were around 5 times when as people started to discover dairy and the dairy industry met a surge, this genetic mutation seemed to have arisen in a population in order to lengthen the activity of the lactase gene till adulthood. Now, these mutations, specific cases of these mutations were found in sub-Saharan Africa, parts of Arabia, and from Ireland to India, and around in Northern Europe. Now, evidence for this mutation taking place around 5,000 to 10,000 years ago can be found by the analysis of the Otzi-Eisman specimen and also the skeletons of the farmers in Europe. So we can confirm that by 2 cases. First is the Otzi-Eisman, and now a 2011 analysis of Otzi-Eisman's DNA. And to give you a little bit of context, Otzi-Eisman is a man of Anatolian farmer ancestry, naturally mummified around 5,500 years ago in northern Italy. To give you a little bit of context, years ago, mummified in northern Italy. And evidence shows that he did not have any lactose tolerance mutation in his skeletons or in his DNA. And also DNA sequencing of farmers in Europe around 5,000 years ago suggests that there was no sign of the lactase mutation. Yet in the same region today, we can see that around 75% is believed to carry the lactase persistence mutation, or in other words, some form of lactose tolerance. So by this, we can clearly see that lactose tolerance was a sort of an adaptation and a sign of evolution of humans, even in today's world.